Hey everybody, Texas Whistler, let's go to work. So we filled up with some gas and we're gonna go to work. This is the first video of T56, Magnum T56 swap. So let's go to work and see what's going on. So, very first thing about them is, I like the tranny. I really do. It has a clunky mechanical type feel to it, but all of them do, so it's not abnormal or anything like that whatsoever. Totally used to it. The clutch is much more grippier than the old one was because we have the correct flywheel on there now, so it's grabbing more of the surface. Anyway. So the initial driving of it changes the gears, totally changes the gears. I have a performance pack car, 373s in the back. With this transmission, it is a little bit steeper to a MT82 car with 331s. So for boosted cars, very good because it actually is keeping the car into boost longer, so it pulls harder as opposed to me shifting all the time. The MT82 was just you were just shifting. Constantly shifting, stupid thing. So anyway, that's very good. That's very good. First gear is actually manageable. I've actually done some dig stuff, doing some stuff from digs with this first gear on my drag radials. Can't do that with the MT82. It was too steep. It was too steep, so I'm on street tires, but still. Little slippy. Cold weather here in Texas, that's why there's no tracks open. Great boost weather, horrible traction weather. Even on my drag radials, it really tries to hook about 45 to 50-ish. Once the methanol injection kicks in, it spins at 60. So I don't have that much horsepower. So it's just the cold pavement outside and stuff. So we're trying to get the track. One of the tracks I think was supposed to open this Saturday. Sucky weather here in Texas. I believe it's going to rain, so I'm going to go ahead and just get full-blown slicks for the car. That's the only way to do it with a manual transmission and any kind of horsepower at all. You just can't launch. I can't launch. Nobody can launch drag radials and a manual. So we'll get that taken care of. The actual install of the transmission itself is a big aspect of it. It's not any different from any other transmission. The difference to this one is, this is a big bitch is what it is. It's a huge transmission. And when you do convert over, you physically convert everything. So this is new bell housing. This is the QuickTime bell housing, SFI bell housing. I had to put a new RXT, the 1,000 horsepower clutch in there because I had problems with the other one. We put it on the wrong flywheel. So what happened there was, when I got down to the flywheel, I'm like, wow, this thing looks brand new. Well, it did, because the opening, the center of the flywheel itself was too big. So the clutch itself was only grabbing about this much of the flywheel. So it had blued, and I didn't feel it till the very end at our event in August, where I was doing a burnout, and they're like, hey, stop, your tires aren't spinning. And that's what it was doing. It's only grabbing about this much of the actual flywheel, so I had no idea of that. So that threw that away. Got a new one in there. Got the correct flywheel. Surface is grabbing all the way around like it's supposed to. And everybody told me, hey, that twin disc is a little bit, it's a little grabby. Sometimes it can do a little chatter, a slight little chatter. I'm like, mine never did. Well, it didn't, because it technically wasn't grabbing a lot. So the fact that it did as well as it did, I was kind of surprised by it. So we've got the correct clutch, correct flywheel in there. So can a 60-year-old guy change the transmission by himself, physically by himself on jack stands? Yes. Yes, you can. Is it recommended? No, it's not recommended. It was horribly hard, difficult. There were some safety issues in there sometimes where I thought that thing was going to come down on top of me. The only thing that saved me was, I had mentioned once before, it's a great big tranny transmission jack, great big flat plate on the top of it. It's got dials, so you turn this dial, it goes this way, you turn this dial, it goes this way. And then I made wooden blocks because the transmission's not flat. Made wooden blocks on it, strapped the thing down, and that's ended up what I had to do that, and jack the car like 4 foot in the air. It was ridiculous how high I had to get the car, and I was like, this is almost a baby lift is what it is. So I did get it done, got everything in there. The speedometer, I'm having trouble with the Bluetooth. There's a Bluetooth box on the bottom, so this box in the bottom underneath the car right now, it does several things. Number one, it takes the signals from the T56, converts it over to the computer for speedometer, for the speedometer input, one. Plug it in, hook it up to your reverse lights, it turns on your reverse lights and camera, two. And then also does the reverse lockout in there, so you actually plug in, give it 12 volts there, and anything under like 3 miles an hour, it actually just goes right into reverse. So that's the 3 things that it does right there. Super cool box. You're supposed to Bluetooth it together with your phone and correct the revolutions, what is it? Pulses. The pulses. It's about 4 pulses off because it's not connecting. So it's about 2 miles an hour slow. That's all it is. So this new transmission, difference in gearing, here we go. Right now, 80 miles an hour, 2250. With my 373s, I think it was doing like 2750, almost 3000, if I remember. Now I do know 40 roll, when you go to Mexico, and you do the 40 roll, before it was second gear, 5,000 RPM. Now it's second gear, 3,500. So much more manageable, absolutely in the boost, stays in the boost longer, because before I would literally, from 5,000, shift to 75, 76, it was just, I wasn't going anywhere, so I was just shifting. So overall, love the transmission. You get used to the feelness of it. It's a little clunky, a little stiff, makes some noise sometimes shifting, but at higher RPMs, shifts great. I haven't actually power shifted the thing yet because there's no need to. I've been on street tires for the most part, which means it just spins. So there's no sense power shifting it and continually spinning it again. Once I go to the track, I will videotape going to the track. God forbid I break something. Everything else now is pretty much good to go. Big bell housing, big clutch, big tranny, big drive shaft, axle shafts, bushings. Weak link now is the motor. We don't want to mess with that motor. Let's leave the motor alone. Let's just stay where we're at for boost, because everybody's like, now you're gonna go more boost. Like, no, I cannot. My wallet says So anyway, transmission's great. I love it. Thank you, Modern Driveline, for working with me, helping me out with questions that I had and stuff. Absolutely a great transmission. I will go to the track. I will record going to the track and hopefully run some good times, because I haven't seen them yet with this car. That would be on me, not the car itself. The setup here, the horsepower's here. I've got all the tools now and get the